Welcome to my first podcast with Real Talk. I'm so sorry, I'm a little nervous, and I think everyone is going to notice, but I'm so happy to have her here. Her name is Flower. She just don't have the beautiful spot in town. She is also amazing, and I'm really happy to having you here. I think it's okay if we do in English because we used to talk in English.
Of course, yeah.
So Woo! For being my first guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Actually, I chose you because we are here at Lucky Punch, and it's not just a big part of your lives, but also became a part of my life.
Yeah.
I think I'm training with you guys since more than 1 year.
More, yeah.
Yes. And maybe you might not know, but you were a big motivation for me to come here. And yeah, I'm really happy to having you here.
I love to know that. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing that. It's also so important and so motivating. I mean, as a coach, as a friend, because I mean, you've grown into all of our hearts, definitely. Coming every morning, most motivated ever. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. I think the most frequently asked question was not just who is going to be your first guest, but also if we would have matcha.
Of course, what is this question? This is with Rafaela.
And I mean, yeah, we have it. I would get in jail if they know the way I do matcha, because I don't do this traditional way, but it's okay.
I'll make it public. She did it very traditional. Amazing.
So, Flower, tell us, you're not just a coach at Lucky Punch, as I know a bit from you. You're from Argentina, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So, since when are you in Switzerland? How was your start here in Switzerland? Did you come to Switzerland because of Lucky Punch, or how was the journey? How did the journey start?
Well, it's a little bit like a longer journey. I come from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I was born there, raised, everything. Mm-hmm. But I also have German family. That's why I went to a German school. And it kind of was my idea and my sister's always to just go to Germany at some point in our lives to try. Also in Argentina, unfortunately, the situation is not super amazing, as you know. I'm in Latin America.
Yeah.
So we always wanted to try like our luck in Germany. My sister, she's older than me, so she went first. And then because of life and the boyfriend and
love, it's always love.
It's always love. She ended up in Switzerland. So when I wanted to leave the country back in 2013, I came to Switzerland, like to her. And then I made some friends. I worked in finance. It's like not even...
No way!
I don't come from sports, really.
You?
Yes.
Oh my God.
In Argentina, I also worked at banks and at a credit card company. And then I was here for 4 years. Then love brought me back to Argentina. And then my sister always remained here. And then in 2021, after Corona and everything, I felt it was time for me again to leave Argentina. So I came back to Switzerland because it was like the perfect. I always wanted to come back. I wanted to come back actually earlier, but then again, pandemic and some family issues, sickness of my parents, I had to stay. So yeah, in 2021 it was the idea, and back then I had done a boxing course. I had worked for 1 year for a boxing studio, pretty similar. The concept, unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore in Buenos Aires, but it was a similar concept to Lucky Punch. And then when I came to Switzerland, it was lockdown, and I felt, okay, I want to work again, like in a gym or anything, but I don't know anything. From what I remembered, there was nothing like really like the one I was in Buenos Aires, and I really wanted something like that. And then, I don't know, it was like super random. I posted a picture in Switzerland tagging my old studio in Buenos Aires, like I'm doing a workout from home here in Switzerland. And then
this was back in pandemic time.
Exactly. This is January 21.
Yeah.
And then someone whom I'm always going to be grateful for, Marco, he wrote me like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I live here now. What are you doing here? And he's like, yeah, I live here. I was once at the studio in Buenos Aires. That's why I know you. What are you doing here in Switzerland? And I was like, I don't know. I would love to do something similar, but I don't know. There's nothing quite like it. And then he was like, you should check this Lucky Punch from two friends of mine fine. They're doing like, they're just starting. It's an amazing thing. I don't know if they're taking people because of the pandemic, but just write them. And I wrote them like, hey guys, I live here now. So if you ever need a coach, this is my background, blah, blah, blah. And then like the next day we had a meeting and they were telling me like they wanted to hire someone and they didn't, of course Zurich is pretty small, and they didn't know like anybody quite like the person they were looking for. They wanted a girl, international, with experience, blah blah. And I was like, and I was just wanted something like this. So we kind of manifested each other. We always tell the story because it was at the same moment, like the time I wrote, they were at that meeting, like brainstorming, like who should we hire? So yeah, like all the planets aligned, and then of course I did the academy. I started first as a host, watching the classes, and then with one class a week, and then of course I grew, and now
And now you're like the pearl of the studio.
That's what you say.
You know
I love
that lots of people ask me if I work for Lucky Punch.
Because you're so
asked so many times, and actually when I was looking to do something that I was like, okay, now I want to start something. People told me, why you don't ask if you cannot become a coach and stuff, and said, I mean, I love it, but it's not, no, it's not. Never say never, but it's not what I'm looking for. So fun. And you grew up in Argentina, you said. So back to then, how was your childhood? Sports was always something fascinating for you, or did you say, okay, I will start and have a look how it is, or did you say your father or your mother? I know a bit that I think you run marathon with your father. Your father used to run marathon, exactly. So was this always something inspiring for you, or
Definitely. I mean, I wasn't quite like into sports myself. I always liked it, and I was like okay, always like at school, etc. But I never saw it as something like I loved or anything. But I saw always my father running. He was a runner, and it was always like, wow, father, like how could you do that? Like super admiring, but like I could never,
far away from you.
Exactly. Like we always I danced, and we always did like some kind of sport in my house, but never as something, okay, now I want to do this and thrive for a goal, It was just like, as a hobby. And my father did run marathons, and actually every kind of run you can think of, he did that.
That's amazing.
So that's why I always grew up seeing that, but never quite identified, if I must say. Then when I was a teenie, I started going to the gym with my friends, like super normal, but of course I broke and started many times. And it really became part of my life in 2017 when I came back to Argentina that first time. I just started going to the fitness. My boyfriend was really sporty at the time because he that's his job. And then I just started to go into the gym. I got involved, interested, and then I started learning for that. But really, as a child, I loved it. I liked it, but never as something mine. So I grew into it, I think.
But I mean, you have lots of discipline. You have to have, and I see with myself. Discipline you always had, or it's something you learned to have?
Both. I mean, I always had it. Maybe not in sports. But I always
in
worked
life,
with like
that's what I mean,
resilience and discipline, and really like my father's motto was like persevere and then you will win. So it was always like pretty okay. Whatever you want to, you have to work for it, and you're gonna get it. But work for it. Like we never had anything really easy in life. Like I grew up we were never rich or anything. It was always a struggle to I mean, never ever, I never missed anything. Never.
You had all your needs.
I knew exactly, but I was very aware that what sacrifices my parents did for that. So it was always like, anything you want, you're gonna get it, but you have to work for it. And that's kind of what I grew up with. And I think I apply that to everything in my life. And now with sports and with my work and everything. But it's just like a very basic thing in my life. So I think I apply to everything.
Okay, that's really nice. I also see from your telling that you were never afraid of, okay, I have to go back to Argentina, I come back to Switzerland, this is something you always had, or you had to do it because of the situations, or you said, no, I'm like this also today, if someone calls me to go, I know Lucky Punch is opening also in Dubai and in Berlin, I think.
Yes.
No? So would you be open like, yeah, I go. This is a chance in life, and I will try, I will go, I will never miss a chance because of moving or because it's something new.
Exactly. I mean, one thing is I never had like a very specific thing I really wanted to do. So maybe it also has a little bit to do with that. So everything what happened in life, I kind of course, I worked for it, but also very much of my life came as a surprise, if you want to say. Of course, in the end, when you look back, it's like, okay, I really worked for this. But I always was open to, I don't know what, I mean, today I can tell you, I don't know where I'm going to be in a year,
That's
in 2,
amazing.
in 3. I mean, I'm super open, because if I close myself and I say, yes, I want to grow here, of course, there's like a goal there, but also being open to whatever comes. And when I first left to Switzerland, then came back to Argentina, and then come back again, I always had like a very, very, very strong feeling of everything's gonna be alright. I mean, no matter what, somehow it's gonna work out, because again, that's how I grew up. Like, of course, struggling and everything, but in the end, always everything worked out somehow. So that's like, I'm very, very confident that whatever is meant to be is gonna be, and
it's
I don't know it, so I'm not gonna close myself to what's coming.
So, but also then your parents grow to like this, no? Like because I have 2 children, you know, and I see lots of parents, they block the child, you know, they are like, also the father of my child, my partner, he says a lot, when a child hears so many no's in life, you know, like you're 2 years old, don't touch this, don't do this, don't, and sometimes you have to let them go to the limit where they see, okay, here I'm gonna fall, or here, you learn this so early, you know. And so you parents also grow this. You have a sister, no? Right?
Yes, exactly.
So you're both like this, or is she? Like
we're both like this, like super. She's even more like flying free. She's an amazing soul, and we're both like really like everything but outside the box. Actually, I'm super inside the box if you compare me with her.
Oh, okay.
But no, I mean, our parents always, especially my mom. She was always like, go fly, experience, try. And I mean, you always have, this is also a very important thing, they always gave us the feeling you always have home to come back to.
You have a base.
Exactly. So no matter what you do, you can always come back.
That's
and
amazing.
I think that's also very important, because I was never lost, you know. I knew where I could come back in any situation in life.
That's amazing, because I started to fly because I had to. I didn't have a mother telling me no or something. I don't have contact with my mother. So I learned to fly because I had to. But what I try with my children is like, okay, I want to build a base for them. I want whatever they do, that they come back and say, okay, I failed. Okay, I can't. Okay, I need you. Okay, I did a mistake.
And that's not a failure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really strict with my kids. Lots of people don't think when they see me, but I'm really, really strict. But in one point, I never got angry. It's when my son came to me and said, "Mommy, I'm so sorry this happened." In this point, I never get angry.
You're human.
It's like,
but that's so important.
And it's so nice that they come now. So seeing you now, I think it's so special also to me to hear that this gives a lot to the children, to the base.
And also, I mean, I told like being fly experience and everything, but also like very strict if you want to see, like also in that way, because I get my father was also in the military and everything, so it was really a lot of things were like super strict. But I think it was both, so I think you need a balance. It's not like they told us like go away, so they were really strict. And I'm now as an adult, I'm actually grateful, because I learned limits, I learned a lot of things, but not with only no's, you know. So it's really important to be also, I mean, an adult maybe knows, well, now I'm getting into maybe a very risky thing, but I mean, an adult knows better than a child, of course, in many things. So you have to kind of guide them, and maybe it sounds strict or anything, but it's because you know, or you might have an idea of what's best for them, but in what they need to thrive and fly, they do it. And then if they come back to you, I think that's to show that you're doing really a good job. So that your teenage son comes and says, "Mom, I did this or that." I think that's amazing.
And also for the other side, as a children to know, or for you and your sister especially to know, doesn't matter what happened, I can count on them.
Exactly.
Or on your mother
yes, they're
nowadays.
maybe gonna yell at me and say
but in the
fuck?
end of the day.
But exactly, in the end of the day, they're always gonna be there and they're gonna have a hug for you, and it's like, it's okay. I mean, and what was very important, they always told me, like, no matter what, I have like so many recollections of things that I felt like I was a super failure or whatever. They always told me, you know what, I experienced something similar, and then I went out and I was like, wow, okay, if they can, I can. So like that reassurance, it was always super important. And
if they are helping me, it's like nothing can go wrong, no?
Exactly.
So back to love. You said you came because of love to Switzerland, and then you moved back to Argentina because of love.
Yeah.
So, and now, are you single or taken or not alone or dating?
I'm single. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Single but not alone.
Nah. I mean, it's very recent, so it's like I don't know, just like focusing on myself right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But back to your relationships. Why do you think they did not work out, or you just were in a moment of your life and said, I want to be alone? And I mean, that's lots of people sometimes don't know that's quite okay to say. I want to be alone. I want to, So what was your reason?
For me, like, of course, every relationship ended because of different things, but the last one, maybe it was, I'm turning 30 in a few days.
Yeah, you're so young.
And I mean, I know, yes, I'm young and everything, but I started asking myself like some bigger questions, like, do I want to have children? Do I want to marry? And it's not like, in 10 years, in 20 years. Now it's like, okay, maybe I should find that person slowly that's gonna like share that with me, you know?
Having the same goals as you said before.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure I want at some point. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I wish at some point I'm gonna have children. I don't know when. I have no rush. But when that point arrives, I want to have like the person besides me that's gonna do that with me. And with my last relationship, it was pretty clear that it wasn't gonna do that because of different goals, different wishes. So that's totally okay. I mean, I love him and we have a very good relationship. But we just figured out it's maybe not right now. The moment we don't know exactly if we're going to the same goal, like in work and ambition and everything, we were really aligned and really pushing each other. That's why he really helped me a lot, and I think I helped him also a lot. But we reached to a point when it was like, okay, but are we sharing the same like sentimental family emotional goals? And it was maybe not, so that's why. And I'm super okay that I'm alone. It's not like I think, okay, now I need to search for someone. Exactly. I mean, I also have my family, my friends. And when
you're just by yourself, you're not alone.
Exactly. And I mean, I enjoy that so much. I love spending time with myself. I take myself out to dates. I go to coffees. I like whatever. And I think it's super okay. And I feel you need also to be alone, because I always kind of jump from one relationship to the other.
Yeah, you told me.
So it's kind of, you never kind of learn what you really want and what you really don't want. So when you're alone, you get to know different people and date here or not or whatever. You start to notice, okay, this is something I like, this is something I don't like, this is something I accept, this is a no-go. And you need to kind of...
And this is so important.
I think it's the most important.
And it's so
then
important.
You realize it in the relationship.
Exactly. So for you, for your, like in the future, or if you don't think so far away, for your partner or the person by your side, you could date someone without the discipline you have? Do you think this would be... I always ask myself, because I learned discipline. I didn't have discipline. I learned. I didn't have time to have discipline, actually, because I had to struggle always. So I learned discipline since 3 years. So it's not that long.
Something you grew up with.
No. I learned to become organized some years ago, but that's not the same. Organized and discipline is not the same. So do you think you could have someone who has no discipline by your side?
No, I don't think so. And because that reflects in so many ways in your life, in so many aspects. It's not like, for example, I always compare it when people, once I had the question like, will you be with someone that's not as sporty as you? And it's like, it's not because of sporty or because how they look. Like, I mean, I couldn't care, of course, it's important, but I couldn't care less about that. But it reflects on how they are, personalities. So if you really don't thrive or don't, for me, discipline is also resilience, and it's also you work for something you want.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna give up at the first thing, no matter if it's the gym, no matter if it's a job, no matter if it's a
life.
study, it's life. And then it's like, you're also gonna give up for me maybe at some point. So I think discipline is very important for all aspects in your life.
Yeah.
In a chilled way. I mean, you can be more disciplined in some things,
Exactly.
less in others. I mean, I would never come and say like, I'm disciplined with this and that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wouldn't attract also a person that's not like that. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Now hearing from you, no. Maybe when you were younger, to see what you don't want.
Yeah.
But now you sound like really, you know what you want, and I think that's
and I
so
want
amazing.
someone that knows what they want.
Yeah,
So I think that's what it has to do with.
Especially a man. It's a point who makes a man really attractive. We don't want to start here the feminism and machismo and stuff, but I think, yeah, back in the days, there's still, it's like this that makes a man really attractive, to see him having goals, and because I think this is also a partner who is going to push you.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter what you want
and
to
I mean,
do.
I want that not even only in a relationship, like in a love relationship with my friends and everything. I see, for example, all my best friends, they're thriving in life because they're also so disciplined in their own way. But I mean, it's the people you want to have around yourself. I mean, me, Florencia, like, of course, everybody can have whatever they want and wish, but when I see myself and I see my friends, my family, and the people, my closest people, that's the people I see. I mean, even you. I mean, we've created a connection so fast, and look how many things we have in common without even knowing in the beginning. So you kind of attract this kind of people. So I think the possibility wouldn't even be there.
That's
I don't think like you give the space. It's very unconscious. It's not like I'm going to say, not discipline, go away.
It's something that happens.
But I think unconsciously you surround yourself from
that's true.
people.
Hearing from you that your discipline took you where you are now. Like, you are, maybe people don't know, but you are ambassador for Garvin, for Mate. It's called Mate,
Puerto Mate.
Puerto Mate. That's amazing. Tell me how this came. Like, did you look for something like that, or did you start your Instagram because of that? Or, you know, we are such in this influencer era, but I think it's really cool. I'm not here judging something. Or
of course.
I love it. I love this era. So why did you came to these deals, or
Well, it came to me basically. I mean, I think it's always a two-way, of course. Like, you work for something, but maybe sometimes without knowing it. That's why I always say, like, a lot of things came to my life as a surprise, because at some point you know you want something similar. I always knew, I would love to, like, maybe monetize my Instagram, but I didn't know how. And I had my Instagram from back in the days, of course, like everybody has one, just to showcase a little bit your life. And then when I got into sports, I started, of course, posting more and more and more. And then in Argentina, I already started a little bit, like some campaigns and so, but really individual. And then when I came here, I remember started because I gave a class for Balboa, the gym I used to work for. And it was for the whole company, or for a part of the company, and that's how they kind of got to know me. And I was also working in many gyms in Zurich, so my name was kind of a little bit everywhere, and they approached me over a year ago now, and they were looking for ambassadors. They wanted to go a little bit out from only running, more into training, and that's why they approached me at first. And it came to me to and I mean, of course, I already liked the brand and everything, so it was perfect match. I was like, yes, where do I sign? It was like a dream come true, and actually it was something I always kind of manifested. I mean, I'm a strong believer in manifestation, visualization, and I used to, like, with this ex-boyfriend, the sporty one I told before, we were always saying, like, we're going to be ambassadors for a brand. Of course, I was mentioning other brands at the point because I was in Argentina, didn't know one. And I was like, I really would love for them to approach me, blah, blah. So I always kind of saw myself at some point, and we were really, like, dreamers, but also believers. And I was like, we're going to have that.
And makers. You have to also be a maker, because people sometimes just wait.
Exactly. So kind of both, because, it came, but I also kind of always wanted it, but I didn't know how to reach it. So it was kind of manifested. Same as with Lucky Punch, actually. And so I, as soon as I got the contract, I was like, oh my god, I talked about this for years, and then I kind of forgot, and then it just fell onto my lap a little bit. So yeah, with On was like that. With Puerto Mate also, because I'm Argentinian and it's an Argentinian brew.
I never tried.
It's so good.
I have to try.
I know you're the matcha girl, but I mean, I totally
but
recommend
I'm really
it.
open for try. I really because
here.
I should try one.
Yes.
In Brazil, mate it's also like something really
Exactly.
common. And they do like also with it's like the fit, healthy. Also, when you go out, like with gin and stuff, they do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Of course not, but they put mate like
in everything.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, for us in Argentina, it's like tradition. Like
Yeah,
you're doing like this. So
Of course.
when they approached me, I was like, okay, I never tried this. Like, But then of course I went to the ingredients and everything, and it was really, really organic and natural and everything. I was like, okay, yes, I'm gonna go for it. And that's how we started the collaboration with them. They also wanted to go a little bit into lifestyle sports. And I believe in it, so it was perfect. And Garmin, I got to know Garmin.
Sorry.
All good. And I actually got to know them because of On. We're a lot of ambassadors, and we do sometimes once a year like a get together, everybody. In a trip to Vienna, I got to know another On ambassador from Germany, and she also works for Garmin. And then a few months later, she approached me. They were looking for new ambassadors, so we kind of got together because of On. But then she approached me for Garmin, and that's how it started.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's always everything's connected. I mean, you never know where you're gonna. That's why I'm also super open into talking to people and telling them what I do and listening to what they do, because you never know where life is gonna connect you again. And so I that's how it went basically, like from Balboa to On to Puerto Mate, Garmin, blah. So it's always kind of a connection.
Did you bring On to Lucky Punch? Because I think Lucky Punch is also sponsored by On, no?
Yeah, but no, I mean, we're partners.
Yes,
and of course. I wasn't very involved at first when the partnership started. But of course now it's growing a lot, and I'm more involved, and it's just matches. But I didn't start the collab.
Are you wearing On?
Right now I'm wearing jeans.
Okay.
Yes, of course. But I'm not wearing no other brand.
No, but actually, I mean, a lot of people are going to hear this podcast now and say, oh my God, Rafael and On, and she's talking about On. I'm not okay. Now I have the big chance to explain this. I hate to explain myself, but I'm going to do it in this topic. It's not that I don't like On. I just don't like that. I think the brand is amazing. Roger Federer invested in On, and I'm a huge Roger Federer fan. I'm just against the people are wearing On to the opera, and people are wearing On to like chic restaurants.
And I say though, I'm starting to combine also like On. There are some On shoes that I really love with the nice.
Can we keep some traditionals? Can we keep some?
You're the
I think it's
professional there.
Yeah, I think it's really nice. I used to work also with fashion, so maybe it's from this. But I think the brand is amazing. I think the campaign they are doing, it's really cool. It's fresh and something. I think you see every age is wearing On. It's not something just from 20 to 25.
No,
it's really
for
like
everybody.
It's for everybody. I think it's really cool. So
even for the opera.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's my point of On, but I think it's really cool. Also, even in Brazil, they started to wear On. Huh?
Yeah, like in Argentina too.
My God, it's the new thing.
Booming. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, Flower, also now I wanted to ask you. Told me you started on the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2024. We are still talking about pandemic. I mean, your journey started actually then.
Yeah.
And do you think this changed also for other people? They became more like, they looked in a different way about health. They looked about their own body. They looked in a different way. Yeah, but sports,
Definitely. I mean, I think it has like different factors. But for example, one of them, at least in Argentina, we were at home for 8 months. Like you couldn't even leave your home. So everybody was like bored. It's like, what am I gonna do? And you had like an insane amount of sports content and fitness content, and do this at home. And that's actually how we also kind of survived with the previous studio doing online workouts, like 2, 3, 4 a day, and people were just looking for something to do. First of all, like out of maybe boredom and so, but also you were seeing everything what was happening in the world, and health became such an important topic, and that's why the pandemic, of course, it was awful and everything what happened, and I hope never happens again. But I think it opened the eyes of so many people, and it made us aware that health is important. It is important to eat healthy, to work out, to do something for your body. And I really feel because of both factors, people became much more sporty, and also after the pandemic I feel we all had an urge to kind of go out and meet people and do stuff, that it also became kind of a boom after that, like the outdoor sports as soon as we could, and then of
also
course
the
group classes. I mean, of course, Lucky Punch started in 2020, so it kind of an experience. I cannot know how it was before the pandemic, but I feel like the boom was also in Switzerland. We were in Zurich, we were the only ones doing outdoor workouts, so that's like people really had an urge to go out and meet people and in a safe environment, and that's how it kind of grew. So yeah, I think definitely. I mean, for you too, right? It was kind of that point. Okay.
I have to say, I'm a bit, but it's fine to say. I started to working out because of how I look, and I mean, doesn't matter why you start, find your reason to start. I think that's the most important thing.
Perfect.
But I gained lots of weight on my second pregnancy, so I wanted to lose. I started also to take Ozempic. I mean, I'm not making propaganda here, but I'm honest with it. So this helped me a lot to lose weight, but I was like, I want to feel good. I have 2 children. I want to feel good. I don't want just to look good. So I want to feel. And nowadays it's a mix. Of course, I love the way I'm becoming, because I'm still not there. But I love also how I feel. I told this to another coach, that I love the feeling of leaving Lucky Punch, and people actually I like to come in the morning classes. So I'm leaving Lucky Punch so happy. I'm going out of this door like smiling and putting good music on and picking up my matcha and stuff, and people are going to work and they come like, with these faces, and I wish I would like to tell them, go to Lucky Punch, go first here, and then you start to work, so I think everyone has to find a reason why do I start. Maybe also because I want to try something new, because I want to do something for the first time, because
maybe I want to be awake in the morning.
Doesn't matter. So but as you know, I'm Brazilian, and as I said before, and in Brazil, how you look, it's really important. I think nowadays, of course, people do because of health as well, because I think also this Instagram opens so many things about. It's so easy to, let's say, nowadays it's so easy to do a healthy recipe. You want to do something healthy, go in Instagram, you find
lots. But before it was healthy was not in. It was like, what are you eating a salad? I mean, not so long ago.
I still have good friends of mine that if I open the fridge in their house, I'm like, oh my God, what are you
doing to your body?
You know, because I grew up like this because my mother was a nutritionist, so I grew up with this. For me, it was kind of normal. But I see nowadays it's so easy to being healthy. It's so easy to being fit. It's so easy.
There's much more information. You also know, why do I eat what I eat, and what if I eat this and that, what does it make to my body? And it's like a whole. It's not only I'm eating this to like lose weight, because before sports and eating healthy was only attached to losing weight or looking good, but not really healthy, you know?
Exactly.
It's just like, I'm doing this for a few months so that I can look like this. That's it. And now it's like more, it's because of health, and of course it brings all of
the
these
benefits.
Different benefits, exactly.
That point, what you said, like as a coach, as someone who you spend lots of time, I think, with this health stuff and everything. What do you think about like people when they come to you and they say, oh, Flower, I'm doing like a diet. I'm trying this diet, 30 days of keto diet. I don't know, whatever. What do you think? What it's for you like? If it would be a close
I
friend
feel-
to you, what would you tell them?
I would first, you have to know why they're doing it, because I mean, of course, there's certain diets that you do for a specific goal, but if your goal is to be overall healthy and everything, I don't think a diet is going to work. It can be that it brings you to the habits, to the okay, I'm going to eat this, and then you learn stuff through that diet. So I don't see it as like a super bad thing. What I see it as a bad thing is if you're doing it, yeah, I'm doing 30 days of keto or this diet or whatever, and then after this 30 days I go back to exactly what I was doing before.
No.
So it's like your body first doesn't understand anything, second, why are you even doing it? If you're doing it to then continue, so I feel like a diet should never end, you know. You
Should be
have
a
to do
lifestyle.
something, exactly.
Should be
You
a
have to do
lifestyle.
something that you can maintain in time, and maybe yeah, you can do it more strict or less strict depending on your goals, because if you really want to, I don't know, there's so many goals.
Yeah.
Or maybe health goals, of course, then you have to do a diet,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
like
It's something
whatever,
different.
yeah. But if it's just for health and lifestyle, and I think you should do something or start small, because so many diets are so strict, and
Yeah.
then you feel like, okay, now I'm not gonna eat sugar anymore, and I'm gonna eat carbs
And you're
anymore, and this.
frustrated.
Exactly, because it's impossible. You were doing it like
Yeah.
for weeks, years, months differently, and now you have to change from one day to the other. It's impossible. So yeah, I think it's always good to do a lifestyle and to start realistically.
Yeah,
like okay,
realistic.
start like taking
Set
away
little goals, no?
yeah, like smaller goals, steps into that. Unless
Yeah.
of course you're forced for any reason, health reason, but actually it's a lifestyle, and you should be able to continue doing it for years and years and years without even noticing it.
Yeah.
If you're doing a diet, it's like you're restricting yourself and you're not enjoying it also. It's like,
Yeah.
what's the good in that?
Yeah, I saw this because I used to be always like skinny. I had curves always. I had always this typical Brazilian body. But after my second pregnancy was like, I really gained lots of weight, and I got so frustrated when I started, and I was jumping on to see how much I'm weighing.
These
Weight
grams and these
every
grams and-
day, like every day I was
That's not
jumping.
healthy anymore.
Yeah, okay. This was like I fucked myself up like this. And since I settled some little goals, this was the best thing I did to myself,
Because you can reach them.
Yeah, it was realistic.
Exactly.
It's realistic. I think sometimes that also Instagram is not so healthy for, maybe not for me or for you, because we already have
We take it as an inspiration. maybe.
exactly. But for younger girls, I see lots of younger girls who look at pictures on Instagram with lots of Photoshop, lots of stuff, and they are like, I want to look like this.
Yeah.
And then they go and look for, they Google
What
the
do they
name,
do?
what
Yeah.
did they do to do this? And
It's
do you
not
think
always
social
the-
media also, of course they have lots of nice sites, social media, as you said, for jobs, for inspirations, to keep in touch with the world, lots of benefits, but what's the dark sides of social media? What do you think it's the dark sides of social media in health stuff?
Well, I think one of the biggest one is like, of course, I don't know about you, but I don't share pictures when I'm crying or when I'm sick or whatever. So we always showcase the best parts of our
Yeah.
life. And even if we know that, when we see other Instagrams accounts, it's like, oh my God, they have the perfect life, and look their dog,
Yeah.
and look their family, look the love, and look how they eat, and look that. But I mean, we only showcase a little part, and what we really want the world to see. We should be very aware, which we're not, unfortunately,
Yeah.
that everybody's doing that. So you
Yeah.
cannot set your whole life like a goal for your life. I want to live like this person, because they're showing you a 10, 20, 30%
that's
of their lives. Of course, there's a lot of content creators
Yeah.
who are really, really, they show everything, and they're really honest and open. So that's amazing, but it's not the general, I think. So it's very dangerous, because as soon as you open up, it's like everybody with their perfect lives, and maybe you're struggling with anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, nobody's struggling with
Yeah.
that, and I'm the only one, and you can feel so alone, or so what am I doing wrong? Why am I not there where everybody else seems to be?
I'm doing the same. Why I'm not
Exactly,
like her.
exactly. And there's also a lot of false and misinformation. There's people that maybe look amazing because they have a discipline and years of eating healthy and doing sports, but they get, I don't know, branded with some brand, and they say like, you have to sell this product, and then this person is like, I look like this because of this product, and then you go and buy this product and it's like, it's not working, oh my god, or you get, I don't know. It can be so difficult. I think it's just very, very important to know you're seeing a 10% of everybody's life, and it's always the best part, and that's all right. I also want to show the best things in life, of course, but we have to be very aware that that's not a reality. It's just.
But I think when I look at you, also the labels you are ambassador for, I really see you there. You are a face. You are the face of this label.
I would never do something I don't believe in.
Yeah,
so
that's
I really
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
That's the same with me. I think I could not do something that it's not me, that I'm not using, that I can't stand behind it. So
exactly.
I would not. Yeah.
Because we have a responsibility.
Yes.
No matter how big your audience is, how big or small, you have a responsibility. Again, maybe we look like this. We have our discipline that we were talking about our whole lives, and it's not like because I drink matcha. No, I do all of things, and I drink matcha, and I can't stand behind it. But it's like you have to be very, very aware of that responsibility because people are looking up to you and they're trying to do what you're doing, so you really have to stand behind what you promote.
And they don't know the struggle we had to
get
there, you know, like. And also it's fun that lots of people don't know why I drink matcha, but I started because I have an autoimmune
disease.
I didn't
know that.
And so I couldn't eat for 1 month. Everything I ate was like I had to go to the toilet and it's called colitis ulcerosa. So and I had to start to take strong medicine, and I could not eat like for 1 month. And then on Instagram I saw a girl talking about the same I had, and she said that matcha helped her a lot. And so I started to drink matcha, and was the only thing who stayed in my stomach. Like even water, I was going to the toilet, but with matcha, and that's actually why I started. So
see, there's always a story behind.
It's not that it's fancy, I'm going to start, because now it became like a bit a fancy thing. But when I started, actually not. There was still it was because of health. That's why I did it.
There's always something that you never know about a person. And you see this amazing, fashionable girl drinking her matcha, and you wouldn't think about all that. Because that's not what you showcase every day, and that's all right. But it's so important, for example, now that you're sharing it. Like, thank you so much, because it brings like the person. I know it's so important to know.
I have also today. I would share maybe, or I had shared. Then when I found out that I have this, but I didn't have Instagram. I deleted my Instagram for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I stayed without Instagram 5 years.
How was that?
I'm back
Probably super liberating, right?
No, I was spending so much time on Instagram, and I said, I can't. You know, I went into a restaurant, the first thing was like the good picture and stuff. And I have kids, so I wanted to
be with them,
and they really have them. I still spent lots of time on Instagram, but now I spend it different. I spend to inspiring myself. That's why I started a podcast, actually. Because I love podcasts, and I was missing something in Zurich, that people talk also about life, and not just about the startups, or not just about happy stories. You know, like the people. Sometimes I see you, but I want to know the story behind you. You know, and so now I use it different. I really learned in this time to use different,
more real, maybe.
More real. And I mean, of course, I just post beautiful pictures of me.
But aesthetics, and I don't know. It's okay.
But I think my Instagram, also yours, it's still far away from just this beige, nude aesthetic stuff. I mean, it's really cool, it's really nice, but I think it's not real, and that's why we started also our Real Talk podcast, that people can come and tell their stories. And now to finish, first I want to say thank you again to coming, but I have a little question game for you. So you can always choose one thing.
Okay, so you're
Okay,
giving me like
I
the
ask
answers.
you,
Okay.
yeah, I give you options and
Yes.
you can just say one.
Okay.
Okay. Group classes, private classes.
Group classes.
Squats, burpees.
Squats. Even if I make you do burpees every time.
I love burpees.
I love both, but I like squats.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one. On or Nike.
On.
A Lucky Punch smoothie or a mate tea.
That's a hard one. I'll go for a smoothie because I take it more often because of everything else that has inside.
Ah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
So, a strict diet or also having a cheat day?
No, cheat day, definitely.
Same. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Bike or walking?
Bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have my bike, I love it. I always feel so slow when I walk. Yeah.
Okay. In front of the cameras, behind the cameras?
And friends.
Come on, you are in front. Your zodiac, it's lion, no?
No, Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah.
Okay, but
and actually was
really
one of the most shy people in the world, like until
know.
5 years ago. I swear.
Okay, that's
I could
crazy.
never imagine myself like in front of anybody talking at school. I was always like shaking, like I have to give this test. Like no, and I
Crazy.
kind of
You see,
had to learn it.
everyone can. And the last one, Switzerland or Argentina?
Argentina. I love
Of
Switzerland, but
course.
I mean Argentina is my everything. But I'm so grateful and happy I'm here, and I would.
Yeah, I can
I don't
imagine.
think I could go back and live there.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the same.
This is
with
my
me,
chosen
Brazil.
home,
Yeah.
but of course Argentina.
Your heart
is
is
my heart.
Argentina.
Yeah, for you too, Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that to add maybe a fun fact that Brazilians grow up. We don't know why. I mean, if you would ask me now, I can't tell you. But we grow up like we don't like Argentinian people. You know,
No, we don't like.
but I
Brazil.
don't know
It's
why.
because of football. I don't
It
know.
is
It's like,
because of football.
and I
no?
mean, you know what? Like, I feel, at least I can talk from like the Argentinians.
Yeah.
We're always like, no, Brazil and that, and when we go there, we are all friends.
Yeah,
and
come
and
on,
when we
yeah.
met, for example, when we meet here in Switzerland, it's like, oh, Brazil, Argentina.
Yes,
blah.
exactly.
So yeah, it's like we like to talk, but I don't think it's really like
But
that.
it's cool. No.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for the real talk and for
Yes.
sharing also.
Yeah, I also use stories.
Thank you so much.
So this was our first podcast. I hope you guys liked, and we will be back soon with another guest. And can't wait for it. Thank you for having me. Bye.